Welcome to worship with the Universalist Unitarian Church of Peoria. My name is Reverend Jennifer Innis. It is my pleasure to be the minister with this congregation of people of all ages at all stages of life. I want to welcome everyone in this moment. We are serving together in the essential celebration that we are gathered to offer today in our service. Whether this is your first Sunday with us or your 1,000th Sunday, we are stronger because you are with us and we are together. We are a people of many beliefs, many theologies, many origins and sexualities and genders and racial and ethnic sources. We are all growing, we are all learning, we are all loved. And so just as you are welcome here. And part of our recognition of all our relationships is that we include the deep threads that connect each other and one another to the earth. This is the ancestral home of the Peoria people. They and other nations were here long before the first Europeans came down the river. We offer our respect and our regard to the ancestors of the Peoria people and also to who they are today. If you are new or are a recent guest, thank you for joining us in person or online. Please help us get to know you. We have plenty of name tags, and please feel free to ask any questions. I invite folks to remain after the service for a little bit of a visiting and some treats in Fellowship Hall if you're joining us in person, or stay on Zoom if you are online. And I also invite us to prepare to be present for this hour. And part of doing so is to check your respective devices and put them in worship mode, whether vibrate or silent. Now, today is a notable Sunday in the life of the congregation for two reasons. One, this is the celebration of, in Unitarian Universalism, is our flower communion. This is a tradition that has passed down from us first from the congregation in Czechoslovakia in 1923. So in fact, this is the centennial of the flower communion we are honoring today, along with congregations all around the world, in fact. And part of what we're doing as part of our practice is that people were invited to bring flowers from wherever you find them in your life and add them to our common bouquets for today. At the end of the service, I'll be telling the story of this, and we each receive one that's different than one we might have brought. And I'll also offer that we have plenty of flowers. If you didn't think to, if you didn't remember, if you didn't know, we have plenty of flowers to go around. Everybody is welcome to participate. And this is also an all-ages service, so children are welcome to stay in for the service. If you need nursery care, we also have that open as well. And also notable today, after the service, we have a light pizza lunch and a little socializing, but we want folks to have a nibble and come back into the sanctuary if you're members. We have our annual congregational meeting. This is the moment when we approve the slate of officers and approve the budget for the coming year. So it's a pretty important gathering. So thank you for participating and being part of this. If you have questions about that, if you're visiting, please feel free to ask. And if you can't stay in person, by all means, you're welcome to dash home, but get on the Zoom for the Sunday service so you can still be part of the meeting. All right. And I'd like to, one last thing, which is next Sunday is a totally different Sunday altogether, which is our annual picnic. And I got to tell you about this because we won't be in the building. We won't be in this building. We'll go out to the Herm Farm for next Sunday. It's a brunch, so we have brunch at 9:30. The service starts out there at about 10:45 or so, and we won't be online at all streaming out there because there is no access to it out there, which is fine. We will have a recorded service that will broadcast at 10:30. If you have questions about that, please, by all means, ask. Everybody is invited. It is a wonderful, wonderful event. All right, and now I want to invite Amanda Franklin up for our annual campaign update.
Good morning. This is our last annual campaign update for the year. It's very exciting. So, my name is Amanda Franklin, and I am this year's chair of the annual pledge campaign. As you likely know, because you were just listening to Reverend Jennifer, today is the congregational meeting where we will vote on a budget based largely on the pledges that we have raised over the last 2 months. This morning, I started thinking about how today would be a culmination of this year's pledge campaign that started back in December, January on the planning side. And I was thinking about how it might feel like an ending, but really, it's a beginning. Those of you who know me know that it is very rare that I say no when asked to volunteer for our church. And really, it's because I love our church. I have said it before, and I will say it again, and I will say it as many times as I need to. I love our church. I love the people in our church. I love what we stand for, and I love the change that we bring to the world. And this morning, I kind of wanted to take a few minutes and tell you where some of that love comes from. When my partner Chris and I found out that we were pregnant, we started talking about parenthood and the communities that we wanted our children to be a part of. And I had known about this church, but it really wasn't until after Piper was born that we started coming on a regular basis. And fast forward a couple of years, she's an older toddler, and we were starting to get questions from family about what this church is, what it does, what we believe, who a UU is. What does that mean? And Chris's grandma had taken an interest. She was very interested in what we were teaching her great-granddaughter. And I had taken her some pamphlets, and she'd read through those, and she'd asked a few questions. And then one day, she asked Piper, "What's it mean to be a UU? What do you guys do at your church? What do you believe?" And Piper, in all of her innocence, looked at her and said, "Gigi, this is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. And this is the church of the helping hands. This is our church." Now, I love it. And some of you may know, at the time, that was how we opened every single Sunday RE circle back in the back. And so Piper had been saying this for months. But when she said it to her Gigi, my heart exploded. I could not have been more proud. And I thought, man, we're doing a good job. And I got to tell you, we were wrong. I have been more and more proud of my girls every single day because they live the UU values. Every single day, they come to new situations and experiences with an open mind. They aren't afraid to ask tough questions. They accept people for who they are. They know that love is love and that every person deserves to be heard, have a right to agency over their body, to be respected, to be seen, to be treated fairly. They're always willing to lend a helping hand, no matter the task. They go through each day with a loving heart, welcoming new friends, whether they've met them before or not, and spreading kindness. And I could go on and on about my girls. I love them. They're fantastic little people. And I know that a lot of who they are becoming is because of Christopher and I as parents. But I also know that having a space and a community that shares those values, that shows those values, that lives those values is just as important. I know there may come a day when they think that Chris and I don't know everything. And they're going to turn to this community and see that, yeah, maybe mom and dad were right. And that's the importance of this community today and tomorrow. So when I think back on Piper's answer to her Gigi's question, I know it wasn't the end of that discussion. It was just the beginning of her showing us who she is by who we are and how we act and what we believe. So even though today marks the end of the annual pledge campaign, it's not an end. It's really the beginning of all of the great and wonderful things that we are going to do in the next year. If you have still yet to pledge, there's still time. If you don't have to be a member, you don't have to be a friend, you could be a visitor to believe in the future of our church and make that financial promise. There will be forms out in the lobby. We will have more forms today at the congregational meeting if you have not pledged or if you want to increase your pledge. But for now, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you who has pledged. And thank you, more importantly, to each and every one of you who has welcomed my children, Christopher and I's children, into this community and shown them what it means to be UUU. So thank you.
So as part of how we welcome each other, we take a moment to greet our neighbors during the start of our service. So I invite you to say hello in the sanctuary or online. And because we are a community of consent, it is very important to ask before going for a hug or a handshake. It really is important. And also, I want to just invite folks to, visit the people that you may not be familiar with as we're gathering in this moment. And now, I invite you to greet your neighbor. We'll call you back with the beginning of the first hymn.
on most years. It's really an address or a map or
All right. Hold on. So please rise in body or spirit. We're almost there. You're getting it. You're getting it. So we're going to, if you were here a couple of weeks ago, our excellent choir director, Dave Breeden, led us this in 4 parts. And I think we can do it again. So we're going to do that again. So we will sing it through 3 times, once, in the course of it. And we're going to start over on the far side, and each section is a part. I have no fear that the 4th section has voice. If you want to maybe go help that a little bit, you're also welcome to do so. All right. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Excellent. I invite Jill Thomas for our opening reading.
Good morning. Our reading today is All of Us Are Beautiful by Thomas Rhodes. We come in a variety of colors and shapes and sizes. Some of us grow in bunches, some of us grow alone. Some of us are cupped inward, and some of us spread ourselves wide. Some of us are old and dried and tougher than we appear. Some of us are still in bud. Some of us grow low to the ground, and some of us stretch towards the sun. Some of us feel like weeds sometimes. Some of us carry seeds sometimes. Some of us are prickly sometimes. Some of us smell. All of us are beautiful. What a bouquet of people we are.
And I invite the Franklin family forward for our chalice lighting.
Okay, good morning again. Hi. So today's chalice lighting, we are actually going to do the hand motions that I did earlier. So we're going to walk through it once so everybody can see it, and then it would be great if we all did it together. So this is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. This is the church of the helping hands. This is our church. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. This is the church of the helping hands. This is our church. Okay, you guys can light it.
In honor of the beginning of Pride Month for folks who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, intersex, asexual, and all the range, we offer this song from Libby Roderick, How Could Anyone? And we have the benefit of having Kathy McNeil, one of our members, will be playing it for us and inviting us to sing with her. If you would like to rise in body or spirit, she's going to play the chords through once, and then we'll sing together 3 times.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
I'd like to invite Regina Stanley and also Linda Fairbanks forward for our new member recognition. We also like to welcome those folks who are new members who have joined us since our last new member welcome, which was in January. Or if you weren't able to attend that one, you are welcome to come forward and join us up on the chancel, please. And as folks are coming, I'll offer the introduction here. And you'll see this in the insert in your order of service. We gather in church, seeking a higher purpose and deeper life than we would find alone. We are grateful today for each one of you, that if you have found your way here and that you've decided to make a commitment with this faith community. We hope that as a member of the church, you will allow yourselves to know and be known, to minister to and to be ministered unto, to love and be loved by this congregation. The relationships we form in the church are based on the needs of the Spirit, and these needs render each of us vulnerable and therefore reliant on one another's grace, goodness, and generosity of spirit. And as members of the church, let us be guardians of each other's struggle and inherent worth.
These are the members who have joined in the past 6 months. We have Erica Brubaker, Anthony Bouvier, and Kathy McNeil, and myself, Regina Stanley.
It's my pleasure to ask the congregation to please rise in body or spirit and join with our newest members in affirming our mutual commitments to one another. And I'll say it with the congregation. We embrace freedom. We welcome all. We grow in mind, body, and spirit. We contribute to the healing of the world. We, the members of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Peoria, are committed to these ideals and invite you to join us in this commitment.
We share your commitment and accept your invitation. We covenant to nurture one another, to inspire one another, to enrich our congregational life by participating, leading, and giving, and to celebrate life in all of its diversity, beauty, and creativity.
We welcome you into our beloved community of memory and hope. May we, the members of this congregation, remain faithful to our mutual commitments through all the ages and stages of life. We welcome you into this community with all our hearts.
Oh dear. So as I introduce the offering, I have a question. So when we come to church, when we show up, what are some of the parts, what are some of the components that make up the congregation? And anybody can answer. What are some of the parts that can make up the congregation? Singing. Being kind. Community. Choir. Yes. Coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. I'm sorry? We're oh, right. Yes, there's always more coffee as possible. Yes, there is more coffee somewhere. Yep. I'm sorry? Community of love. All the kids, like all the kids and all the kids, right? All the kids. Yeah. Learning. Yep. All right. So I will also offer, yeah, I'm sorry, George, one more. Acceptance. The part of what makes things happen is that every one of us brings something that adds to what we've named and everything that goes into being part of the congregation. So sometimes we receive things when we are sad or sick, and sometimes we give, like food or art. So much comes because we bring ourselves in all the ways that we can, in person on Sunday for sure, but also online, doing things around the building that hardly anybody notices. But all these things make a difference in how the place feels and how the community is. So in this moment, we honor that act of giving by receiving the collection. That also is one of the ways to contribute. We receive a financial collection during the Sunday morning service. It's our way of being intentional and recognizing the value of giving and also the joy of it. And we also share our plate with a named recipient in any given month. So now we're in the month of June, and we have our first recipient for that, or our first Sunday it's the product of the project. And this is an organization. Its values and goals include that they meet the needs of inner city youth by providing them with strategies aimed at character development, accountability, financial literacy, goal setting, and establishing positive relationships. And they provide social and interpersonal skills to help the youth cope with daily life, develop critical thinking, develop self-confidence, and encourage independence while achieving wellness and nutrition and a healthy lifestyle. So this is a body that is devoted to folks who really need to know the wider world that is out there and how to build relationships and take care of themselves. So in our share of the plate, half the undesignated offering goes to our recipient and half goes to the working of the church. Please indicate, if you're using an envelope or a check, please indicate the destination of the gift, whether it's for your pledge or for the share of the plate or a combination. The ushers will pass the plates during our music for meditation, and after the plates have passed, you're welcome to come light candles of care. And now, I want to invite the ushers. Would you please come forward? Abraham Heschel reminds us that prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, or rebuild a weakened will. In the sharing of the joys and sorrows of the congregation, this is, in fact, the prayers of the people. I want to begin with joy. We offer congratulations to all who are graduating and moving up into the next chapter of their lives. In particular, we recognize those who are completing 8th grade or its equivalent and heading into high school. We also, yeah, there's one of them. We also recognize and celebrate those who are completing preschool and going into kindergarten. Oh, the big school. And at kind of the other end of things, I know that there's a few people who are retiring or have retired in the course of this year, maybe even for the second time retiring. You can retire, I guess, as many times as you need, but that's okay. But I want to offer our best wishes for those next adventures as well. I know there's some members who are part of the congregation who are entering into retirement again or for the first time. So yay, retirement. And there we go. We offer a wish for healing. We send wishes for a good and speedy recovery to Wes Cedrell, Edith Bernard's spouse. Wes is receiving treatment for a heart condition this weekend. So let us offer our care and support for Wes and for Edie as she cares for him. And I want to invite us to please remember that our memorial for Bonnie Hedges will be here at 11 a.m. on Monday, June 12th. Lloyd and his family appreciate all of our care and support. Let us hold one more moment in quiet. We bring the fullness of our lives to this place, whether we say what is in our hearts or let it be present in silence. So in this circle of care, we offer a space for all that is within us, our joys and our sorrows, the names that are with us and the milestones. Let us give each other the gift of presence and hold one more moment together. I invite you to breathe with me and pause. Amen, shalom, and blessed be. Now I'd like to invite Jesi Laughlin forward to offer our floral story this morning.
So it is a floral story, or a bit of a musing. Before I begin, I'd like you all to think about what kind of flower would you be? There's a lot to choose from here. Different colors, different sizes. Some are full and bright. Some are just starting out as little buds. Some are strong. Some are a little droopy and need a drink of water. What kind of flower would you be? If I Were a Flower by Reverend Carol Martinaco. If I were a flower, I would be a stargazer with a face wide open, astonishing white petals sprinkled with specks of deep fuchsia. A bit showy and loving the attention. of passersby, I'd proudly claim my place in the sun all day long, waving on my tall, sturdy stalk, showing my colors. By night, even in sleep, I would gladly open up my whole being to the distant light streaming down on me from the innumerable stars for which I am named. What kind of flower would you be, I wonder?
And it is with that wondering about the kinds of flowers that we would be, and in fact, I would say how we show up in church with the kind of flowers that we are, in all the colors and shapes and forms. And it's within that spirit that we offer our end of the year service, and we approach this end of the year with a ritual that is unique in Unitarian Universalism, which is the flower communion. When we gather in person, usually the story of the flower communion and sharing it comes, as we are doing now, it comes at the end of the service. So I want to offer in this moment, as we're beginning to get to the end, the story of it. Part of our work as a faith and as a congregation in this time is locating and relocating, connecting and reconnecting with our why, our theology, and our ministry. So having participated or led the flower communion all my life, the why that comes from this service, I want to make sure that we spend a little time with it. And I begin with that importance because every time I come to this service, every year, there's always something that says this is why we do this again. The Reverend Dr. Norbert Čapek first created and celebrated this form of celebration in 1923 in his ministry that was then Czechoslovakia. Čapek was born there and was a minister in the Baptist church originally. And he became more liberal than he felt was safe at that time. So he left the ministry and came to the United States. And in this country, he found Unitarianism and brought it with him when he returned to ministry in his native land. He formed the Liberal Religious Fellowship to start the Unitarian movement in Czechoslovakia. People from all kinds of backgrounds attended this congregation. They were Catholic, they were Protestants, they were Jewish, and many more. And so, sensitive to the variety of beliefs held by the members of the congregation, he sought a ritual that could be shared by all and not attached to any one particular tradition. So Reverend Čapek turned to the natural beauty of his home and chose a sign of spring, that abundance of life that was and is so well expressed in flowers. So on the last Sunday before the summer recess of the Unitarian Church in Prague, all the children and adults participated in this colorful ritual. It gives a concrete form to the humanity-affirming principles of our liberal tradition. So before the time of the Second World War, Čapek's congregation in Prague was the largest Unitarian congregation in the world at about 3,000 members. Then the Nazis took control of Prague in 1940. They found Dr. Čapek's gospel of inherent worth and beauty of every person to be, as the Nazi court records show, too dangerous for the Reich for him to be allowed to live. Inherent worth was too dangerous. Dr. Čapek was sent to a prison camp where he was killed the next year. But before he died, he gifted the world with the flower communion. When Čapek chose flowers, he knew they were beautiful, and that the works of rain and sun knit together the variety and color and shape we all know in flowers, and that we know in ourselves as humans. Reverend Maya Chapek, Norbert's partner in life and in ministry, describes the flower communion this way. She says, "The flowers are used as the symbols of the gifts which each person can make to the church and through the church to other persons. Because of the large variety, each person is able to express their individuality, and the exchange of flowers means that I travel without reservation with anyone, regardless of their social status, their former religious affiliation, as long as they are ready and willing to go along in the search for truth and service to humanity." It's that simple. And that search, well, maybe it's simple, but it's also really challenging, as we know from our own lives and from the lives of folks such as Norbert and Maya Chapek. The questions we offer in our lives that come to us just in the matter of living can be so difficult. We cannot just use our heads or our hearts or our minds or our spirits to respond. We need to use all that is our life. And so after 100 years with the flower communion, the need to affirm this worth and dignity of every person, this need to affirm the embrace and welcome of the community is as important as ever and is urgent in so many ways, in fact. As we begin the month of Pride, so many of our siblings are struggling and afraid. So many of us are also struggling and afraid. In case there was a question about whether we needed to have this conversation again, we have it right in front of us. So now, I want to offer that we'll enter into the flower communion itself. If you've not yet brung a flower or a plant, greenery or plant of any kind is also welcome and interesting, that you are welcome to do so. And we offer the flowers this morning to symbolize the love, in part, that is hidden deep within us. So I will offer a blessing for the flowers. That these flowers are beautiful, and so are the feelings of love among the people. Their beauty cannot be measured, neither can their feelings of people be measured. Their life is short, but new flowers come to replace the flowers that die, and new love can come into our hearts. So this bud is for the new babies that have been born this year in all the aspects of our lives. Last year, these babies did not exist. This year, they are among us, and before they could lift a hand, they'll learn to smile. Before they speak, they learn to love. And if we can help them keep this love in their hearts, they pass it on to others and others again for the future. This flower represents the people living all over the world. We will not necessarily see them face to face or shake a hand, but we can feel the warmth in their heart, because we know that their hopes are like our hopes, their pain is like our pain, and their love is like our love. The flowers here are shared by so many different people and put together in our gathering. They are so lovely in this moment. But we also know that they will fade tomorrow. But the love among the people of all ages, of families and friends, this will go on and on. We have a chance to know one another, to attend to what is in each other's hearts. We have brought our flowers and our love together to gladden our church and to brighten our lives. So I want to offer that we will sing in the course of this. We'll have 2 communion hymns. We'll sing each hymn through 3 times until we are finished with the communion. So it's Come, Come, Whoever You Are, and that's also From You I Receive, To You I Give. And Edith will play on the piano and guide us along. And while we sing, I invite you to come forward to our tables. Take a flower other than one you brought. And again, we have plenty, so if you didn't, please feel free. Then you definitely know you aren't bringing one that you brought, and that's okay. Right? So I want to invite us to do so with love and intention. It is so good to be together. Let us begin our flower communion. Whenever Dr. Čapek conducted the flower celebration in Prague, he would say this proverb as he consecrated the flowers. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessings on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love, to be one in desire and affection, to one in thy holy will, May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of the most precious gifts. May we not let the awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do this work in the world. It is so good to be together and to celebrate this moment in the community. I invite you to please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and justice, taking it out into the world in which we live until we are together again. This blooming season is short. The flowers stay only a brief time, and we are travelers upon the earth, travelers through all brief of our own lives. So let our moments be bountiful and beautiful. Let us rejoice in our unique shapes and sizes and colors and aromas and sounds. Let us celebrate together in love that as we travel, we take with us the abundance and the wonder of this golden hour of life we have shared together. Our worship is ended. Let our service begin.